Welcome back to the Chattable podcast, where enrich vocabulary and speak English with pride. Imagine walking down the street, completely relaxed, just minding your own business.
Right, just a totally normal day.
Exactly. And suddenly, out of absolutely nowhere, you take a heavy boot right to the face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a brutal image.
It really is. The physical shock, the sudden impact, the undeniable pain, it just leaves you completely stunned. But now imagine someone using words that feel exactly like that physical blow.
Yeah, words that just completely knock you off balance. And I mean, in this episode, we are looking at how English captures that exact visceral bodily feeling and, turns it into an idiom for human communication.
Because a great idiom gives you an image so strong that you actually physically feel the meaning of the words before you even process them.
Exactly.
And we are focusing on a very specific kind of hidden connection today. We are looking at two vivid expressions that both rely entirely on the image of the human foot.
Right, the foot.
Yeah, but they use that foot to describe completely opposite aspects of life. So one uses the foot as a weapon to describe an intense, aggressive conversational style, and the other uses a bouncing, joyful foot to describe a really high-energy way of traveling.
I love this because the contrast shows just how flexible language is. The exact same physical anatomy becomes, heavy and crushing and painful in one context, but light and quick and energetic in another.
Right. So let's start with the heavy one. It's the phrase, as blunt as a foot to the face.
Yeah. You hear that and you immediately understand that the person speaking to you has dropped all politeness.
Oh, absolutely.
It describes a communication style that is shockingly direct. So the person is being completely honest, but they are aggressive about it. There's absolutely no filter.
Well, the word blunt itself really does a lot of the heavy lifting here, right?
It does, yeah. Because a blunt object, like a heavy club or a rock, has a dull edge. It doesn't slice cleanly. It smashes and crushes things through raw, brutal force.
Right. And you combine that heavy, crushing concept with this sudden, shocking image of a kick to the head.
Right. It's startling.
The message hits you instantly, it hurts, and it leaves absolutely zero room for doubt about what the speaker actually thinks of you.
Exactly. We all know someone who communicates exactly like this, especially in the workplace.
Oh, for sure. Like, you have a colleague who looks at a project you spent 3 weeks on, and they simply say, "This is terrible, throw it away."
Right, just brutal.
And a lot of people might actively avoid working with this person because their communication style is as blunt as a foot to the face. But, you can still secretly appreciate their raw honesty.
Yeah, because they don't hide anything.
Right. But wait, let me ask you something before we go further.
Sure, go ahead.
If constructive criticism is like a surgeon's scalpel, sharp, precise, and meant to carefully cut away a problem to heal you, then this phrase is like swinging a sledgehammer that just knocks you flat.
That's a great way to put it.
But is being a sledgehammer always a bad thing, though? Like, is there ever a time when this level of bluntness is actually the best tool, or is it strictly a negative trait?
Well, it actually isn't strictly negative. Think about a woman named Rachel.
Okay.
So Rachel is a filmmaker who just finished editing her movie. The stakes are incredibly high, and her friends are being too polite to tell her the pacing is too slow.
Right. They don't want to hurt her feelings.
Exactly. But she desperately needs an unvarnished, true opinion to save the film. So she takes the movie to a notorious, harsh film critic.
Ah, I see.
Right. She fully expects the critic's feedback to be as blunt as a foot to the face. She knows he won't sugarcoat anything. He will tear the project apart.
But she wants that.
Yes. She asks him for his opinion anyway, because the raw truth is the only tool that will actually fix her major problem, even if hearing it is incredibly painful.
So in that case, you kind of need the sledgehammer to break down the wall.
Exactly. It works for a boss giving brutal feedback on a completely failed project, or even a friend who tells you your outfit looks awful without sugarcoating it. They don't try to soften the blow. They just tell you the harsh truth.
Okay, so those scenarios are perfect fits. But there must be times when you definitely should not use this phrase.
Oh, absolutely. There are very clear boundaries. For example, if a coworker politely points out that you misspelled a single word in a report, and they gently help you fix the typo.
Right. You wouldn't say they were being as blunt as a foot to the face.
No, describing them that way sounds completely ridiculous. It's just a typo. The phrase requires a massive, shocking impact.
Yeah, using it for gentle, constructive advice completely misrepresents what happened.
And furthermore, you really need to avoid using this phrase in highly formal HR meetings or professional performance reviews.
Oh, I can imagine. Because complaining to human resources that your manager's feedback was like a foot to the face sounds like you are literally accusing them of physical assault.
Exactly. It's far too dramatic and aggressive for formal corporate settings.
Yeah.
You always have to match the intensity of the idiom to the intensity of the situation.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we have the foot acting as a brutal, heavy weapon. The words kick you in the head.
Right.
But on the total opposite end of the spectrum, the foot becomes incredibly light. The second phrase is to hop around the world.
Yes, to hop around the world. And this means traveling to many different countries quickly and frequently.
Right.
You spend a very short amount of time in each place before packing your bags and rushing off to the next international destination.
And the origin of this one paints such a clear picture in your mind. Hopping is, making short, quick jumps on one single foot.
Right, just a quick hop.
So imagine standing in front of a giant paper map of the world. You take your index finger and quickly bounce it from country to country across the map. Touchdown, bounce up, touchdown, bounce up.
I love that visual. That quick bouncing motion perfectly mirrors the fast-paced lifestyle of this kind of traveler.
Yep.
They don't settle down. They don't unpack all their bags and get comfortable. They are taking frequent flights, popping into multiple international destinations back-to-back with a very high level of energy.
Think about the tennis legend Roger Federer. In his retirement, he isn't just sitting quietly at home. He is hopping around the world for family vacations and endless business commitments.
Right. He's always on the move.
Yeah, he touches down in one country for 3 days, attends an event, and then immediately flies to another country the following week.
Another great illustration of this energy is a guy named Oliver. So Oliver became a travel vlogger, and his entire job relies on capturing video content of unique restaurants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he is hopping around the world to film these meals. He has a frantic, busy schedule, flying across borders just to eat at a specific restaurant, film the video, and leave.
I mean, it sounds exhausting, but also incredibly exciting.
It really does.
It fits perfectly for the busy, energetic travel schedules of celebrities or international business executives rushing between global meetings, or even lucky retirees who have the freedom to visit multiple countries in a single trip.
Exactly. The energy is always high, it's fast, and it involves crossing borders. Which means, just like the first phrase, there are specific situations where this idiom completely falls apart.
Okay, wait, let me push back on this for a second to clarify.
Sure.
What if I spend an entire month taking slow trains through different cities, but I only stay in just one country, like Italy? Like, I'm moving from Rome to Florence to Milan. Am I still hopping around the world?
Well, based on the rules of the phrase, no, you aren't.
Really? Why not?
Because the idiom strictly requires multiple fast trips to different international regions. Moving slowly within one single area, even if you change cities, lacks the massive geographic scale that the phrase implies.
I see.
You aren't bouncing across the map, you're just exploring one spot.
So it requires crossing borders quickly, short stops, big jumps.
Precisely. And it also cannot be used if someone is permanently relocating. Imagine a student named Sophia.
Okay.
Sophia gets accepted into a program and goes to live in Italy for 3 years to study.
Right. So she unpacks her bags, signs a lease on an apartment, and really learns the neighborhood.
Exactly. She is putting down roots. She is relocating, not hopping. The bouncing finger on the map has officially stopped moving.
That is such a fascinating distinction. It's amazing how English takes the exact same bodily anatomy and stretches it to cover such vastly different human experiences.
It really is.
Like the foot becomes a weapon of pure, shocking honesty when you need a sledgehammer instead of a scalpel. And then that exact same foot becomes a light, joyful tool to describe the frantic, exciting pace of crossing international borders.
And it shows how our physical bodies fundamentally shape the way we understand the world. We borrow the physical sensations we know, like a painful impact or a quick jump, and use them to communicate abstract concepts like our conversational style or our travel habits to other people.
Right. So think about your own daily routine right now and the way you interact with the world around you.
Yeah, here's something to mull over. If you had to invent a brand new idiom today, using a physical action like a specific motion you make with your hands or a way you carry your shoulders, to describe your current lifestyle, what would that idiom be?
Oh, that is a great question. Pay attention to the physical sensations of your day. The language is probably already hiding right there in those movements.
It usually is.
So practice noticing those connections and try using these vivid phrases in your own daily life. Paint painting a picture for your listener makes your English so much more colorful and engaging. Thank you for joining us for this episode, and we will catch you next time.